7.
Testing.
Ooh.
Hello, everybody.
What are you doing?
Are we still? No, we're doing it.
We're doing it.
All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Midnight Memo. This is the podcast where we talk about all the things that keep us up at night. My name is Claire.
And I'm Kristen. Claire is apparently hosting WWE. I don't know what the hell that was.
Yes,
but
these talkies have me feeling a certain way.
They got her feeling a certain way. So we're really like hitting the slumber party thing again in this episode. We are filming from my couch in a slightly normal fashion, and Claire, as we're getting set up, I went to go get more wine because that's where we're at, and I'm whining right now. So we'll see where this goes. And Claire asked for some Snick Snacks, and I was like, of course, I have all the Snick Snacks. What would you like? And we could not decide, so we filtered down from all of my choices to chips, and then we could not figure out what type of chip.
Yeah.
So there are 4 bags of chips in front of us, essentially.
Yeah. We have all the options. We got spicy, cheesy, another cheesy, and then I don't know actually what this is. Salty.
It's like a popcorn garlic chip thing.
Interesting.
Apparently it's like supposed to be from Mexico, but there's Japanese writing on the bottom, so like I'm really unclear what we're doing over there.
It's a multicultural chip.
Speaking of cultural,
Whoa.
segue, whoa, happy Asian American Pacific Islander month.
AAPI.
Peoples. We were just on a live and I had to confirm what the second A in AAPI was, because I knew what the PI was. I knew one of the A's was Asian, but I wasn't totally positive the second one was American.
Yeah. I don't know. But it's for those who don't know, it's a month where we get to celebrate all of the Asian cultures that are that have come to America. And if you guys didn't know,
and Pacific Islanders. If
you didn't know, Kristen and we are part of this group.
Yes, we are both of Asian descent,
yes.
And I am also a Pacific Islander.
Yeah, so
covering all the bases here.
Yeah, truly. So I think that's pretty fun. We're American. I have my United States passport, so...
Yeah, you do.
Honestly, okay, they literally terminated my Chinese passport, or my Chinese citizenship, when I was adopted.
Is that not normal?
It is, but I was very offended.
I was like, aren't they not supposed to do that or something?
I was like, why can't I just be a dual citizen? I don't know.
That's fair. How come do you know why you couldn't?
I think it was just because the family I was being adopted into was American, so they're like, now you're a U.S. citizen. We're gonna kick you out of our country.
But that doesn't...
It truly didn't make sense, because I didn't even get my citizenship until I was in like 6th, 7th grade.
Oh, right. You told me about that.
So I was just, I was an alien.
Registered alien or something? Is that the term for it?
I have no idea.
Claire just did like some, I don't know what that was.
Just a little wave.
It wasn't the wave. It was like this little worm motion movement in front of your chestises. I don't know what you were doing.
My chestises?
Your chestises.
Yes. Also, I'm eating chips, so
ASMR away.
Yes. Ignore me chewing.
When we were testing our microphone earlier, I have a very nice soundbite of Claire giving some quality ASMR crunches earlier. So, giving you more ASMR crunches with a little less commitment, because now she's self-conscious about it.
I know. I want to hear. I want them to hear you talk and not just like the crunching of. Yeah, should have snacked before, but it's fine.
You didn't choose this life. The snack life chose you. I was gonna ask you a question, but I'll wait for this chip.
I'll put the chips down, okay?
I don't even remember what I was gonna ask you though now.
So we could talk kind of about like our own Asian heritage a little bit.
You wanna go first? You want me to go first?
You can go. Okay.
I'm probably gonna I was just telling someone about this the other day at work, which is a really weird time to have this conversation. But I should have confirmed with my dad. This person is also interested in Japanese culture, and I am Japanese. So I was trying to explain to him like how much Japanese and like my family lineage on that side of my family tree, but I couldn't remember which generation of my family immigrated from Japan to Hawaii, if it was my grandma or my great grandma. And then I literally talked to my dad yesterday, so I definitely could have asked him, but I forgot about this conversation, and honestly I wish I remembered because it would have been so fitting for information now, but I don't know. So either my great grandma or my grandma, I don't quite remember, immigrated from Japan to Hawaii to work in the sugar plantations during those times, and that's all I really know about it. From, if it's my great grandma, don't know much about her because she passed much before I was born. But I think it was her. I think she immigrated over, I think along with my grandma as well, and all of her siblings. My grandma was one of 6.
Damn.
And she was the only girl.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's rough.
She was a trooper, man. She was kicking it. I was telling my partner this fun fact the other day, actually. So my grandma is one of 6. She has 4 older brothers than herself, and then a younger brother. And gosh, I don't want to butcher this. I'm 97% sure that my great grandma is the one who immigrated to Hawaii, and then she had my granduncles. Don't know family trees that well, but my grandmother and her siblings, and her 4 older brothers all fought in the 442nd Infantry Regiment, infantry, in World War II. Which, if you don't know what that is, it was one of the infantries that was made up entirely of second-generation Japanese Americans.
Oh, that's cool.
So after Pearl Harbor bombing,
less cool.
Yeah, unfortunately. So after the Pearl Harbor bombing, all of her 4 older brothers were signed up to the army. They were enlisted. I think they enlisted. I can't quite remember. But they all ended up in the 442nd, and it is actually the most decorated battalion out of World War II from America. And it was made up entirely of Japanese Americans. And yeah, they all fought in that war very valiantly, and unfortunately they have all passed, but they have like cool trinkets, and they were very proud of that accomplishment.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but my youngest granduncle did not fight because he was the baby. And in Japanese culture, the youngest takes care of the parents. Oh. So he stayed home and he took care of his mother, so my great grandmother.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah. But the eldest 4, yeah, they were in the infantry. Yeah, really sick. My dad has like, one of my granduncles has his diary that like contains some of the things that he saw, which is kind of spooky but also kind of cool. You know? So
for real. That's like a history book, but like from his point of view.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So maybe at one point I'll actually get to like read them. I just found out that my dad has that diary, like I think the last time I was home. It was really very random that we got on this topic, but found that out. And yeah.
That's awesome. What is your favorite thing about Japanese culture?
Oh, dude. I think I was talking to this person also, and we were talking about Japanese culture, and with our previous episode, 2 episodes ago now, I think it'll be, about love languages, he was telling me about why he likes traveling to Japan so much, and the culture of just anticipating the needs for business owners, for shop workers, hospitality in general. In Japan, they really anticipate the needs of the people they are serving. And I was like, wow, acts of service. This explains so much.
If 2 + 2 = 4.
Yeah, literally. So that's what this person appreciated. They were like, I really just appreciate how that's so embedded in the culture of just like, yeah, anticipating the person's needs. And I was like, you know what? That's kind of sick. I do appreciate that. But I think broader than that, I appreciate the idea, and I think it's very common in a lot of Asian cultures, but I can only speak specifically for Japanese culture, the idea of community. So like what you think about the betterment of your community, the society, like on the broader scale, even like Japan, like what you can do to serve the country. That's why so everything you do is reflective of your family, your parents, your family, your neighborhood, your community, rippling outwards. So that kind of teaches people to take responsibility and accountability of their actions, and that ripples down to even the smallest things they do, where like there's no trash, like in the cities, on the subways, like
until I arrive.
Trashy with me.
Self roast. Sorry,
Claire, I just had to bring it down. She was just like, it was getting too real. But yeah, I really appreciate that aspect of just the sense of community that comes from that. And I think if we all had a little bit stronger sense of community and pride in where we come from and what we do, maybe we wouldn't act like dicks out there in the world. I don't know, just a thought.
Yeah.
But
okay.
Yeah.
What about your Pacific Islander side?
So there's a joke that my grandma paddled over from Samoa to Hawaii.
She called them arm muscles.
Yeah. I don't know how true that is.
And oh my god, kayaking alone is really hard.
It's really hard.
Damn. Side note, much respect.
Do you remember when I took you stand-up paddleboarding, right? Was that the first time you went stand-up paddleboarding, when you came to visit me in Hawaii? And we went...
Maybe. Oh, yes. Yeah.
That was... Tangent. That was
kind of the worst.
That was, truthfully, the worst stand-up paddleboard experience I've had in my life.
Yeah.
That just was not it.
Yeah, we decided to go at the worst time. We went in at high tide,
yep.
And there was a really strong current, like pushing us like down the beach.
Yeah, towards the seawall.
Yeah, and so we were like trying our hardest, like putting in so much effort to like get away, and we literally were just staying in the same exact place.
Yeah.
So eventually we had to get out of the water, and like we had to like walk our paddle boards up. And we had traveled super far down.
Yeah. Well, because the wind had moved us, and at some point we were just, like you said, paddling to stay in place, to not keep moving.
Yes. Oh, and then even when we were trying to like walk with our paddleboards, the wind kept like pushing it sideways, and so we like couldn't.
And we're holding like these like 10-footer boards too, like not tiny boards, and we are not large men. We are not large people.
Yeah. It was quite eventful.
Yeah. It was good times, good times.
We love.
But all that's to say, my family jokes that they paddled from Samoa to Hawaii. I don't know how much of that is true.
How far away is it?
Dude, ridiculously far.
Oh, then never mind. I was gonna be like, because again, geography is not my strong suit. If they were close, then I'd be like, oh, maybe. But
no,
if they're not, then no.
They are over 4,000 kilometers apart, which
in the U.S. is what?
Let me look it up in miles.
I love how you said, like, super confidently, like, I wouldn't understand what kilometers
are. I mean, to be fair, I knew that kilometers to miles is, like, roughly 2, but I was going to go the opposite way, and I was going to say it's about 8,000 miles. Nope, it's the other way. It's about 2,500 miles apart.
Damn, yeah, she ain't paddling that far.
Which is rough, but
that's funny.
That's what I was told.
Okay.
And so yeah, they also immigrated to Hawaii during the plantation times. I don't know so much on that side of my family, just because my mom's mom is the one who is full Samoan, and I didn't really get to meet her. She passed away long before I was born, and my mom wasn't able to spend a lot of her childhood with her because her parents separated, and she ended up living with her dad. So she doesn't know a lot about her Samoan heritage. But when I was applying to colleges,
oh, back in the good old days.
Back in the day. So we knew I was Samoan from, my mom obviously knew her mom was Samoan. So she found this Samoan scholarship for me, and she was like, oh, you should apply. Applied, I got it, yay. But they asked at the last minute, hey, can you show us proof that you're Samoan and yeah, like kind of like a family lineage tree, like show proof that you actually are someone. So I was able to show my birth certificate because my mom wrote that I'm someone on my birth certificate, but my mom's birth certificate doesn't say that. So a lot of legality things that don't want to get into. She had to change it, and when she changed it, that kind of led to her meeting / reconnecting with that side of her family. Like she knew she had Samoan family. Her mom had other children, but I don't know how aware she was of that growing up. Not totally sure. But that led to a whole reconnection thing, and suddenly my graduation party turned into a second graduation party that my Samoan side of the family threw for me afterwards, and literally just met them all there, threw a giant binder down in front of me. I'm literally meeting these people for the first time too, as I'm turning 18 and about to leave to the United States. fun. And they threw down a binder in front of me, and they're like, "This is your family tree." And I'm like, it goes back years, dude. Like,
that's kind of awesome.
Like, so ridiculously far back. It's astronomical. It's like a 2-inch binder. It's massive. At least 2 inches. I don't know. My mom's been like so since then, my mom's been able to keep up with them, and I think she's even like grown the binder a little bit. I don't even know. It's ridiculous. My mom says I'm gonna see her actually at the end of the month, so she says that she's gonna make me a copy and try to go through it with me, but I'm a little overwhelmed with that fact, so we'll see. But yeah. Sounds fun.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Any fun facts about your Samoan culture?
I know there's a money dance you're supposed to do at graduation, and I'd not do that because
and at weddings.
At weddings, yeah, women do a dance, and I'm not gonna try to pretend I know it because unfortunately I am not in tune with that side of my family as I really want to be. I would like to learn Samoan, but it's really, really hard, and I don't have anyone to practice with up here.
I know if Suniva was still here.
I know.
Side note, we have a friend named Suniva. She is also Samoan, and she did this dance at her wedding, and it was so cool to see.
Yeah.
And then I think her now husband, his culture, I don't want to say the wrong culture, so I'm just not going to say it. It's an African culture.
Yeah.
They also have a similar custom, and so both families were doing it, and it was so cool.
I know. I was literally just talking about that wedding the other day with my parents, and I was telling them about it, and I was just like, it was so pretty.
It was amazing.
So much for the culture. It was so good. It was so pretty. But yeah, so that's a traditional dance that you do for graduations, weddings. And so when I happened to reconnect with my Samoan side, when I I was still 17 at the time. Wow, crazy. When I graduated, but I didn't know until after I had my graduation party, and then I got to go to some of my Samoan cousins' like graduation parties, and my dad was like, "See, if we knew earlier, you could have done that, and you could have got more money for your scholarships." And I was like,
"I order a redo,"
and I was like, "Dad, that's terrible, but you're right."
Damn it!
Yeah.
Just do a second graduation party.
Do it again. But yeah,
that's cool.
What about you?
Wow.
What do you have to tell us about your Asian culture, Claire?
So many things. Just kidding. But I'll share what I know. So go for it.
Quick Cheeto Snack break.
Yeah, we're really leaning into this slumber party vibe right now. We're just eating
the noisiest of chips too.
Yeah. We're like we could have eaten something silent.
No.
But we're like crunchy chips.
I know, when you're like, what snacks do you have? I was like, chips sound great right now. Did not think about the complications that come with that. I was just like, you know what I want right now? Chips. I want some good crunch.
Yeah, we're just bringing you guys along with us.
Oh yeah. Come along for this.
Yeah, grab a snack. Eat with us.
And then comment what snack you're having, because I'm curious.
Oh yeah, what's everyone's favorite chip?
I know yours, because it's the same as my partner's.
Oh, what do you think it is then?
Takis Fuego.
No.
Really? Flaming Hot Cheetos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn, I got the cultures wrong. Rip.
Damn.
I mean, it's the same. You know what? It's the same in my eyes because I can't have either.
They're both bright red.
They're not even bright red. They're literally fluorescent neon red.
Like, I've had a few and I already have red marks on my fingers.
Dude, they nuclear glowing red. Did you know you can burn them?
You can burn a lot of food.
Well, yeah, but like they will catch fire and they will hold the flame.
Oh.
Like they will turn into a match. Like whatever the frick is in that shit, they will.
I believe
it is toxic. These are the things I do this is the things my friends do when they're camping. We lit each of the chips on fire. We tried to see which ones caught fire. The Takis Fuego.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. And the Flaming Hot Cheetos both caught fire.
I mean, at this point, I feel like everything I eat or do, they're like, that'll give you cancer.
Everything anyone does nowadays.
Yeah, so I'm just like, all right, lean into it.
Which is a very dark thought. We do not encourage these things.
Have you seen that one TikTok where it's like, if you're seeing this, just do it. And then all of a sudden people are like getting into their bathtubs with like toasters and they're like, stop! And then there's a Stitch that comes in and is like, stop. That's not for our side of TikTok. Put it down.
Again, we are on different sides of TikTok because this is not on my feed.
Well, also, it's Mental Health Awareness Month. Side note. But we'll get into that after this.
That'll be the follow-up.
Yes. My Asian culture. So, as far as I know, I am only Chinese. I have not taken any of those tests, though, to tell me further.
Do you genuinely... We're going to get into it. Do you want to, though? Like...
I don't know. I think...
Because you have one. Claire has had a DNA test for a while. And I know this because she has told me. And she repeatedly tells me that when she goes home, she's like, oh, I should take that. And then she never does. And I think half of it is because you forget, which is very fair. And the other half, I feel like maybe you don't want to. I don't know.
I think it would be fun. Like, I want to do it. It's I genuinely always forget that I have it.
Okay.
Because I think I have ADHD, and like if it's out of sight, it's out of mind.
Fair.
And I store it in my lift top table, you know, like the coffee table.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so I just like where I store all my like extra electronics and stuff, and so I don't really go into it until I need like a charger, and like I'm like, where's that wire? And then I'm like, oh yeah, it's there. But then I automatically forget.
You're like, oh yeah, my DNA test, but where's the charger for it?
Yeah. And then like when it's partly I forget, and then partly like laziness, like it's literally one step, but I'm like, where do I drop it off? I don't want to have to go mail it somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm just lazy.
Okay.
But I do want to find out. But as far as I know, I'm only Chinese. And I don't know, I probably believe that for the most part. It's just the only doubt that has been like implanted into my life is that everyone's like, oh, you're really tan to be only Chinese. And fair.
That's fair.
Yeah, and whenever people meet me, their first assumption is, oh, you're Filipino. Or like,
I mean, that's what I thought.
Yeah. I'm dark.
That was my first thought when I met Claire too. I was like, she's some type of Filipino Asian, maybe Pacific Islander mix. I thought she was local. As we know, she was not local.
You all know the story. I'm not
Y'all
local.
heard it before. She is not.
I'm not local, but I appreciate that some people thought I was.
You had me fooled.
Yeah. I still had, who was it that still thought that I was from Hawaii?
Bro, he still calls me Claire to my face when you're not there. And I'm like, bro, I've known you for 4 years now.
Yeah, we're just twins, you know.
Gosh, craziness.
That's so funny. But yeah, I think it would be cool to see if I was anything else. Yeah, but growing up, I wasn't super attached to my Chinese background and culture, mostly just because I grew up with an American family. And we I think this is gonna be mentioned in like this week's episode. So last week's episode kind of touched on the fact that I was a part of a group called FCC, which is Families with Children from China, and they really helped a group of young girls kind of stay connected to their Chinese roots, which was cool. So we would do a lot of different events like the Kite Festival, the Moon Festival, Chinese New Year, all of those different things. And so it's like I kind of have an idea about like the major events, but actually knowing like the ins and outs of the culture and society, I don't really have much information on. But it is very interesting, like the parts that we do learn in like world history or something when they touch on the Chinese and their different eras. Dynasties. Yep.
Still on that villain era.
Oops. Yeah. It's kind of crazy, but it's also very cool. So.
Yeah. Would you? Because you haven't been to China yet.
No, I have not.
Would you go? Are you interested in going back? If not for the culture, like strictly interest, just because it's a cool country.
I kind of do.
Yeah.
Because I want to go to Japan really badly.
Hell yeah. I recommend.
And I was talking to my mom about this, and she was like,
"Is that going to be on the girls' trip?"
I don't think so. But I was just telling her where I wanted to travel eventually.
Okay.
Because definitely have the travel bug.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And I was like, I want to go to Japan. And she was like, girl, if you're going to Japan, you better stop in China. Like, you cannot. And
you're already, like, right there. She's so right.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta say.
And I was like, why? And she's like, that's where you're from. Like, what do you mean, why?
For the culture!
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, so I think if I did go there, I would, like, visit where my orphanage was. I don't think it's there anymore. But, like, I'd also want to, you know, I want to see the Great Wall of China.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, it would be fun. It would just be a whole Asia trip.
That'd be pretty sick. I want to go to Japan.
We should go.
Oh, heck yeah.
When?
So my plan when I graduated college and I got my big girl job. So when I first got my job, I was actually kind of like a temp worker. I had a 1-year contract with my employer, and at the end of that 1 year, they were either going to convert me to full-time or not. Luckily, it was the first one, so yay.
Or not.
Or not. But I converted to full-time, and so when I got my big girl job, what I promised, I kind of made a self-promise to myself a while ago, and the plan was that once I got my big girl job and my big girl paychecks, I was gonna take my dad, who is where I get my Japanese heritage from, to Japan, because he has never been. But he has sent myself and my brother to Japan when we were in high school taking Japanese classes, because
that's so cool.
Our schools were doing, you know, the little trip, doing the trip thing. You know, you take the class, you take the language, you take the culture classes, and then you can go to that country. So myself and my brother have gone, and very, very fortunate that we were able to do that. And my dad has made like little comments where he's like, "Yeah, I can send my kids to Japan, but I can't go myself." Which, like, I get it. He you know, it's kind of like sassy, snarky comments, but he really wants to go. Yeah. So my goal was to surprise him and do that. But then
Kelly, don't listen to this part.
No, I already told him. So what had happened was I was going to surprise him, but I converted to my full-time job August 2020. So, you know, right in the middle of that Pandora's box. So it didn't happen, and I was like, okay, next year. Next year comes around. Still questionable time. Okay. Maybe next year. We're still like kind of questionable. So the plan is for next year in 2023 to do it. And I really want to take him in March during Hinamatsuri, like during the cherry blossom festivals.
Oh, hell yeah.
Of course. I know it's going to be peak tourist season. It's going to be ridiculously expensive. But like if we're going to go all that way, I want my dad to have like the full experience, you know? So that was my plan. And then a couple weeks ago, we were on the phone talking. I was telling him how I had the travel bug too, and I want to go all these places. And he was like, "Yeah, well, I still want to go to Japan, blah, 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 blah." And I was like, "I'm trying, Dad." He's like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, "Ooh."
What are you talking about?
and so he was like, I said I want to go to somewhere else, and he was like, "Oh, we should go, blah, blah, blah." Basically, I accidentally spilled the beans. And I was like, he's like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, okay, so my plan was, explain to him the plan I just explained to you guys. And he was like, oh? And I was like, so next March, if things are looking better, I'll take you. And he was like, okay, practice your freaking Japanese then. And I'm like, I'm trying, dude. Like, I gotta learn Spanish first. One language at a time. I can't go from one monolingual to trilingual in 1 year. You crazy. For context, I'm learning Spanish because my partner's from Mexico. So I am trying to learn Spanish so I can converse with his family.
How's that going?
Yeah. Questionable.
I mean, you're consistent, so that's good.
I'm consistently doing something every day, yes. But not a lot. And it's like I'll have flashes where I'll do like a whole unit. But again, I have never, growing up in Hawaii, I've never needed to use Spanish. So I'm literally starting with like a -12 learning abilities on this. So it's taken a lot to ramp up on this.
Yeah.
But
I just tried learning Swedish.
Why? When?
Let me say.
Why? Why Swedish? IKEA? Like,
yeah, so I can understand all the IKEA names for furniture.
Why?
Because I was being dramatic.
Okay, fair.
But the whole Roe v. Wade thing really freaked me out when it's like the news first broke. And as I was learning more about all of the further implications, what can happen when it's overturned, all the laws that can kind of like slide under the radar, a lot of things can go super poorly within the next couple of months for women especially. And I don't think a lot of people really understand the implications at the moment. And so I was Googling, I was like, what is the most gender equal country in the world?
Yep.
Sweden.
Yep.
So your girl was like, let me learn some Swedish because I'm going to need to escape at some point.
I'm going to need to jump ship.
Yeah, so I started learning Swedish.
Oh my.
I'm so dramatic.
So how long of an endeavor? You said started. So how long has this endeavor?
Only like 3 days.
Okay. Have we 3 days total? Like we've stopped, or 3 days?
3 days total.
3 days total.
Yeah.
But are we still actively gonna?
Yes, we're still actively learning.
Okay.
But I only started it 3 days ago.
Right on. Okay.
Yeah. So, side note.
Side tangent.
Yeah. Also, it's also like crazy to think about how big Asia is.
Yeah.
Because I was kind of thinking about like, this month is really to represent different Asian cultures, different Pacific Islander cultures. And it had come to my attention that like a lot of people think, it's a small group of people, like only Chinese, Japanese, Korean, Filipino, like, oh, those are Asians. But like, then they consider like Indian people not Asian. I'm like, still in Asia.
Yeah.
There'd be like people in Russia. Russia's still in Asia. Like, there's a lot of people, like, Asia is so large. There's so many different types of Asian people, and it's just so overlooked.
Mm-hmm.
So I found that
you only look at those like we
it's
talked
like
about before, tokens.
Yeah, the very, I don't want to say
mainstream, but
mainstream, but the ones that are very evident, I guess, in America right now. But
yeah,
I don't know, are the ones that get the most attention. I don't even know how to put it in a good way.
I know what you're saying, but I don't know the words to formulate that thought.
Yeah, but guys, there are a lot of different Asian cultures out there. Educate yourself.
Educate yourself.
And all of them are very different. Their cultures are very different. Their customs, events. So if you all want to like learn more about Asian culture, it's so interesting. Mm-hmm. Their customs, everything. So definitely look into it.
Dude, I do miss that though. When I'm growing up in Hawaii, like Asian culture is so freaking prevalent and so embedded in it. And I know we have a pretty large Asian population here in Seattle too. But I don't know, maybe it's just not as evident. Like, it's there, but I feel like, I don't know, and maybe it's just where I grew, like, specifically where I grew up. Like, I swear to God, 80% of my friends were Japanese, Chinese, or Okinawan. Like, if not 97% that, like, at least to some portion of it. And so, like, I went to Bon dances all the time, which is Japanese Harvest Festival dancing. Especially when I was taking those Japanese language classes. There was Lantern festivals. There was a lot of things that happened in the culture that were just like embedded in casual activities that were so heavily publicized, and like you could hop in, join, hop out, you know, like partake as you wish. And I miss that. I definitely miss it a lot.
Yeah, I miss all the culture clubs.
Yeah, dude.
Because even though like some things are similar across like Asian cultures, there are so many things that are different, from like the dances, the food, when you learn about their history and like how they
food
like how they prepare different dishes, how they like their hunting techniques, their cooking techniques, their dances, their music, all of that stuff. It's so cool.
I'm slowly turning my partner. Apparently now he really likes noodles.
Hell yeah.
Today, like, before we started dating, I don't know why I asked him about noodles. I was asking him about...
You like nudes?
Yeah, at some point I asked him. I was like, shut the fuck up. He's so stupid.
You said yeah, though.
And I was just like, yeah. And like, I was ready to move on, and god damn it.
Got him.
Anyways. I was talking... It's when we moved in together, we're talking about like food and eating styles and like, okay, what types of foods do you like versus what types of foods do I like? And I was asking him if he was big on like having like ramen or like noodle dishes, and he was like, I'm not really a noodles guy. Cut to now, where we made like stir fry a couple days ago. He has finished it off yesterday for lunch, and then today when we were trying to figure out what to make for dinner, he's like, I was thinking a noodle dish of some sort.
Oh, look who likes noodles.
Yeah, so today I threw it in his face. I was like, I thought you weren't a big noodle guy. And he's like, oh, I guess I am now.
Things change.
Yeah.
You see, what had happened was...
Asian persuasion. Nah, just kidding.
But it's kind of true. Like, even for me and my partner...
Yeah.
Introduced him to sushi. Introduced him to udon.
That's so wild to me. But like,
not to offend him.
For the culture.
Yeah, not to offend him, but he's very white. Grew up in a very white area.
Happens.
So now I'm introducing him to a lot of the different Asian cuisines.
Where he grew up, like in that area, is there not a heavy or at all prevalent Asian population there? Is it mostly just in downtown Seattle that we have a strong Asian population?
I think so. He said he grew up near where Olympic National Park is. So south of us.
Southwest? Directions?
Southeast?
Is it that way or is it that way?
I
thought it was around the thingy.
I have no idea.
Claire and I are just gesturing in the air for context, and we're trying to gesture and make up a map to figure out where the frick we need to go.
Yeah, I forgot the name of the town he was from, but it was a small town, so I'm assuming...
Got you. Okay, that makes sense.
Not many POCs.
Yeah.
But, so I'm getting to introduce him to a bunch of different foods.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. And the other day, he made a noodle dish.
Wow.
And I was like, wow. And it was really good. Another huge, I guess, is it a themed month? Like, it's not a celebration. AAPI month isn't a celebration.
I see what you're saying. I don't know what the word for it would be. Like, you're talking about like how in June we celebrate like Pride Month. And, yeah, I don't know what the word to categorize these monthly awareness celebration things are, but whatever the word for that is.
Yeah, well, May is also Mental Health Awareness Month. And let me tell you, this is a huge part of my life. Yes. I think everyone's life, really. And I'm so glad that it's becoming more mainstream to talk about it. This is so funny you bring this up.
Today, I was literally rewatching Taylor Tomlinson's Netflix special. We went to the Taylor Tomlinson show when she was in Seattle, and now that show is on Netflix, so I was rewatching it, I guess, in a sense. And a big portion of her, I don't remember the name of the new one that just came out, but whatever the new one is, a big portion of her show is about mental health and mental awareness for at least half of the show. So it's just very funny that you bring up now, like, talking about mental awareness and all that stuff. And I highly recommend listening to it because it's funny as hell and it's always fun to laugh at it. You know, you got
the relatable parts.
Yeah, you gotta laugh at it at some point, otherwise it sucks already. So you might as well laugh at it. True.
Yeah, I think, especially in the last 2.5 years, it's become more acceptable to talk about mental health.
Yeah.
And especially with social media now being so accessible, and like we were joking earlier on TikTok, like I'm on like the mental health, depression, anxiety side of TikTok sometimes, and a lot of people are, and it's kind of funny to see how other people handle it and deal with it with their own humor.
Yeah.
And it's awesome that we're talking about it, because when it becomes more normalized, I think people feel less shame about whatever they are feeling. And I don't know, I feel like there's a weird in between, like we're in between the two generations of Gen Z and millennials. Gen Zs have no shame about talking about it.
Yeah.
They'll be like, this is not 13th reason, like make fun of it, you know? And I'm like, that's good that you're like having fun still, and like you acknowledge it, but you also work through it with humor, know that you're not the only one. You're comfortable talking about it, getting help for it, like therapy, like it's a huge conversation now. Whereas
these are all huge talking points in Taylor. I'm just gonna sponsor Taylor Tomlinson.
Yeah.
These are all huge. Like at one point, how you're talking about like medications and stuff like that. At one point, she asked the crowd to. I'm gonna spoil her bit a little bit. She talks about. She's like, "Hey, we're all on some type of pill, right? Shout it out!"
Yeah.
And everybody, yelling all like the antidepressants and the mood medications that they're on for like their bipolar disorders and stuff like that. It's, you know, like you said, it's fun to make it seem so normal. Like just, oh, I'm at a comedy show, we're just gonna talk about what type of drugs we're on for my mental illnesses.
Let me show, because it also shows that you're not alone in it. So you shouldn't have to feel shame about it. And I think the millennial generation is still a little bit hesitant about talking about it.
So wait, you mean earlier you were saying millennials are so willing to talk about it, they don't give a shit. Did you actually mean Gen Z before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Gen Z's super comfortable talking about it, making jokes, making videos.
I'm always on the like, you might have ADHD side of TikTok, and I'm like,
oh my god, the other day
yes,
there was a video where it's like, oh, you know, if you kind of do this with your wrist, then that's like a sign. I'm kind of, since we're podcast, I'm like turning my wrist down, you know, and if you sit like that or sleep like that, or it's a sign that you could have autism.
Oh shit. Okay. I was on a different tangent, but okay, keep going with
and
this.
I was like, what? I'm like, dun 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 dun. I don't think I am, but it was interesting.
Very interesting that could be a
like a tell.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for.
But
there was one. You know how I sit in chairs. I don't sit like a normal person. I can't sit like a normal. I try so hard, but literally my entire life I have been incapable of sitting normally in a chair. I remember growing up, my mom would always kind of like scold me. She's like, "Ladies don't sit like that." I'm just sitting like a monkey. Like I'll sit all types of way. Every way the chair should not be sat in, I will sit in it. But my most popular one is to fold like one leg crisscross and then the other leg like tucked to my chest, like how you're sitting right now. And so one of the TikToks that I showed up on my feed was like, we all agree that this is the sign of ADHD, right? And this girl like she's setting up the camera as she's saying that part. She backs up and then she sits in the chair exactly like that, and I was like, and I felt attacked. And then my partner is sitting next to me. He's like, you really shouldn't get tested.
Honestly,
and I'm like, you're right, but damn.
It's so crazy because I think this is factual that men often get
it's facts. It's facts.
Yeah, men often get diagnosed with ADHD at a young age because they're super hyperactive and all that stuff, can't focus. And for girls,
Our tells are different, but it's not as widely known what the tells in young girls are for ADHD. So they're often misdiagnosed. The tells aren't as obvious, so it's not as easily caught in when they're young, like in preschool, kindergarten, elementary school age. And they're able to, oh gosh, what's the word for it? I don't want to misuse the wrong word. I think it's called masking techniques. I could be wrong, but it's basically, especially growing up stereotypically as a female in society, you find certain things to kind of hide those tells. So whatever the tell would normally be for women, they find a way, for ADHD women, they'll find a way to kind of quote hide it. So it's even harder to diagnose until they're very late into their adulthood.
Yeah, so a lot of the times women get diagnosed way into adulthood. Yeah. Which is kind of crazy. Yep. But yeah, I think that the more I watch TikTok, I'm like, do I have all these mental issues? Like, yeah. Like, but, yeah, I was talking. Oh, I do this weird thing with my feet when I'm supposed to go to sleep. So I kind of like, you know how cats kind of like need their paws when they're about, like trying to stretch. Are you calling
yourself a cat?
Listen, when I go to bed, I have to go like rub my feet and stuff to like feel comfortable. And I was called out on a TikTok video, and they're like, "You have ADHD," and I was like,
"That specific was on a interesting."
And so I was like,
"Cause yeah, I've never heard of that."
Yeah, and I thought it was normal.
I mean, for you, yeah, obviously it's normal.
But everyone did it, but apparently no one else does it.
No, sis.
Yeah, but
Claire's not doing it. She's watching herself. She's like, "This is normal, right? This is fine."
Yeah, but then also, yeah, I was never. And my mom got mad at me for this, similar to your mom. I would always shake my leg at the table.
Oh, dude.
Or even like when I'm sitting at a desk, wherever I'm sitting, because it would help me focus.
Yeah.
And my mom would be like, "Stop fucking shaking your leg." And I'm like, I literally can't. Like, I'm trying to focus. And she's like, "That doesn't help you." I'm like, "Yes, it does."
Yeah, little do you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do that too. My dad would also do that. He would get so annoyed that my brother and I both have that tick of like shaking our leg. But I've told you this already. The difference between me and my brother shaking our legs is I am a 5'6", not gonna say my weight, but it is a normal weight woman. My brother is a 6'5", I think he's down to 250 pound man. He's a little bit larger than me. So when this man shakes his leg, the whole fucking building shakes. Literally
Earthquake!
Literally, when I would take him to school, when we were in high school still, so when I was a senior, he was a freshman, so I was able to drive and take us to school. And I had a Ford Escape, which is basically a mini SUV for those who are 2012 Ford Escape. And
for those car people.
For those car people who really want to know. And it's a little SUV. And so I'd be stopped at a stoplight, and my car is shaking. Like, literally, it looks like I'm, like, have a boom and bass in my car, because my whole freaking car is shaking. And I'm like, oh my god, my engine's gonna blow. I'd, like, freak out the first few times this happened, because I was like, fuck, the car's breaking down. Because it was a little bit older car at that point, back then. It's even older now, and I still drive the same car, but that's besides the point. And I'd be freaking out. I'm like, oh my god, the car's gonna break down. And I'm like freaking out, looking around, look over, my brother's just tapping his leg to the music, just like bopping around, and I literally have to like grab his thigh, and I'm like, stop it. And he's like what? And I'm like, sir, you are making this whole car shake like unrealistic amounts. You need a not.
You need to chill.
Yeah, so we both have that tick, but we only get annoyed when the other person's doing it and we're not.
I think it's because like you have different rhythms.
No, it's always like only one of us is doing it at a time. We're never both tapping our leg.
Interesting.
Like if we're at the dinner table, one of us will be tapping, but the other person won't be, and then the person who's not gets annoyed at the person who is.
Huh.
I don't know. Maybe it's a sibling thing. I don't know. It just happens like that.
Maybe.
It can't. It's never. We are never both doing it at the same time. It's always only one person is doing it.
Yeah.
And at that time, the other person for some reason doesn't feel the need.
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
But for mental health, I think that it is super important to keep talking about it. Super. Because while our the younger generations find it to be a normal topic of conversation, there are still, excuse me, there are still people or maybe certain demographics that find it to be a, it's not,
Stigma?
yeah, there's a stigma around it still. And I don't think that there should be.
Yeah.
Because we all deserve to feel our best. We all deserve to have help in that area. And like, I still personally know people who are very ashamed about talking about it.
Yeah.
And they have just recently said like, okay, like I need to go to therapy. Okay, I need to, you know, get on something to just help me feel better.
Yeah.
And I totally relate with, I hate being on any type of prescription medicine, whether it be for depression, anxiety, or like birth control. Like, I just hate it.
Yeah.
And so I understand the want to not have to take those. And you have to think about like, okay, but it's going to improve your quality of life so much. And you don't even realize it until you're on them. And then you're like, oh, this is what I could have been feeling like the whole time. And not to say that, you know, prescriptions are the answer.
Yeah.
Because you will still feel like have waves of sadness, waves of anxiety while you're on those, but
it can help regulate.
Yeah.
That's the bigger.
Yeah, the lows aren't
goal.
as low, you know, so everyone should
explore that option.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think. Yeah, I thought I had more to add to that, but just that.
There's no shame in the prescription game.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. I think it was our Valentine's Day episode, but you were showing me your little gumball machine of.
Oh my gosh. Guys, so to get real personal, I have antidepressants.
Do you want to tell us which ones too?
Yeah, it is. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. I was like, I really didn't mean it.
Yeah, and to make it more fun, I put it in a mini gumball machine. So now I can dispense my antidepressant pills. Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, it makes it more fun.
I know.
Makes me less depressed whilst taking them.
I'm so jealous. Yeah, so Claire told me that, and I was like, oh my gosh, should I do that with my meds? But I'm just on birth control. So I was like, I kind of can't just roll the dice on which one of those I'm taking today.
Yeah.
Although sometimes it feels like it when you're on it.
Oh my gosh. I honestly hate birth control so much. But
honestly, we could do a whole nother episode on that, because I just got words at the moment. I'm going through a whole thing, and we can...
I got qualms.
I got qualms. Oh, you said that with just such a straight face.
Listen, I'm on one, honestly, about the whole
Nah, dude,
women's uteruses, men's
no uterus, no opinion.
Audacities.
We really need, yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely been top of your mind, and it's been weighing on me too, so we should definitely talk about that next episode. Let us know if you guys are interested in that in the comments below, or DM us if you'd like to hear more about that.
Yeah, message us on Instagram or TikTok, email us at the Midnight Memo at gmail.com. Anything else you want to touch on for AAPI or mental health?
Nah, I think we had everything for AAPI. Told you guys what I can vaguely tell you about. Vaguely, but very specifically about my family lineages and mental health awareness. Just, yeah, I don't think I have anything to add. You got any final closing thoughts, sis?
No, not really. I guess it's like summarize.
TLDR,
yeah. If y'all just wanted to skip.
For those who don't, I don't know. Okay, I didn't know this until working in tech, so maybe I'm just a dummy. But TLDR is too long, did not read.
Yes. In summary, definitely, again, Asian culture is everywhere, especially in the US. There are so many cultures that are here. Asia is a huge continent, right? Country,
yes.
Continent?
Both? Well, no, I don't think it's a country. Well, because a country would be each of the countries inside of it. So continent.
it's huge. There are a lot of different countries, cultures that come from Asia. So if you're ever interested in learning more about one, I would highly recommend it. You can learn a lot. It's very interesting, very different from the Western cultures. Yeah, I still like to learn.
Question. Is Europe considered Western culture? Because I always hear that Western culture, but I'm like, is that? I just assume that includes America. Then yeah.
I don't think so.
But does it? Okay. Someone correct me down below. Otherwise, because this is now weighing on my brain. Damn it.
Geography.
We're trying to reach a conclusion, and my brain's like, but what about this?
Honestly, we could do a whole episode on just geography.
Oh my god, have you seen those TikTok videos of people like doing geography tests? To like,
no.
Bro. See? Different sides of TikTok. It's like these people.
I'm like, don't get in the bathtub with a toaster. And you're like, where's this country?
Two types of people.
But it covers both API and mental health, so.
Wow, look at us. So inclusive. Yeah, random side topic. It's this person who, I don't know where, the internet has everything. So it's like, it'll show up a blank map and it'll be like, name all 12 countries that start with A. Mm-hmm. And he like, boop, 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 and figures it out. And I'm like,
Antigua.
Bro, no.
I don't know. Asia. There you go.
That's this was a continent.
Geography is not my strong suit. I think that's like the third time I've said
it. I'm in pain. I'm in Spain without the S.
Country.
Yes.
Boom.
Anyway.
Yeah. And then along mental health, let's normalize needing help for your brain. You need it for your physical body. And then you also need it for your mental health. So don't be ashamed. If you are dealing with something, ask for help. You're not alone in it, especially now. I think it's spiked after the pandemic for sure. So you have a huge community around you that could help, and you can then help others too if you have friends that end up needing it. So
just have empathy. That's my favorite thing. Thank you guys so much for joining us on this week's episode of the Midnight Memo. We really appreciate it. Happy Asian Pacific Islanders Month for those who partake. And happy, is it happy? I'm going to say happy. Let's put a happy spin on it. Happy mental awareness.
Mental health awareness.
Mental health awareness. Thanks. Mental Health Awareness Month. Don't forget to follow the podcast so you can be notified when our next episode drops next Tuesday. Don't forget to like the podcast and rate us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It really helps us out. If you have any questions or want to continue the conversation, we'd love to hear from you guys. Feel free to DM us on TikTok and Instagram at The Midnight Memo, or feel free to email us themidnightmemo@gmail.com. Anything else?
Let's close out with ASMR. Okay. We're eating chips. Claire, what chip do you have? I have Takis. Fuego. Fuego, fuego, fuego. I have Cheetos Puffs. Crunch. Yummy.
Okay. Bye.
Okay. Bye.